I'd like to introduce Dr. Tony Alessandra, and I've had the pleasure of being with you, meeting you, driving you around Westchester, and enjoying your book.
Thank you.
And this is the Platinum Rule, and I want to read, Tony Alessandra, PhD, was recognized by Meetings and Conventions magazine as one of America's most electrifying speakers. You are motivational, summa cum laude. I have seen your videos. My mother, my brother, we've all benefited by them.
Thank you.
And the Platinum Rule is a whole new mindset. It's a whole new concept. What's wrong with the Golden Rule?
Golden Rule is perfect. Golden Rule is very good. But the Golden Rule basically says that we should treat other people the way we would like to be treated. The Platinum Rule goes a step further. Treat other people the way they want to be treated. But in order to do that, you have to understand something about the people to treat them appropriately.
So you have to know something about personality types, don't you?
Exactly.
Well, I want to address just a couple personality types. Now, those of you who've been watching QVC for a while probably know me, Mary Beth, Bob, Judy, and we probably could give you some idea of personality types, and you might be able to identify them. So let's talk about right here. I'm going to go through the table of contents very quickly and just give you an idea what's in this book. This is not dry reading. That's something you have to know. Tony doesn't know about how to be boring.
No, it's
That's
fun.
Just not in his vocabulary.
A lot of stories and examples.
Getting to know the 4 basic styles, which is personality types.
Right.
Okay? How to tell where you fit in.
Right. There's a test in Chapter 3 where you can answer the 18 questions on the test, and it will tell you what your style is.
Right. And then it says how to get a handle on anybody. In other words, my personality I now know, but what about the guy I've got to go talk to?
That's right. So what you do is if you read that chapter, you now can look at what I do and listen to what I say and be able to determine which of the 4 styles I am.
That's right. So if you're going in to talk to a potential employer, and that employer happens to be very big on numbers and analytical information, and you come in and say, man, we're going to have a party, I'm going to be great.
That's right.
You ain't getting the job. Is it true that it's really not always your credentials? It comes down to whether they like you or not?
Oh, absolutely. The vast majority of people are hired not because of their experience, their background, their technical expertise, but they're hired because of the way the interviewer feels about them, the relationship.
Absolutely. And then it says you have how to cope with other personality styles. What if you're in a job already and your boss absolutely drives you bananas?
Right.
Every time you have to meet, you end up with some kind of a conflict. This is actually going to teach you how to deal with their personality on their level.
Absolutely.
So you can get what you need. Now, how about if we translate that to, well, I'm no longer working, but I've got a relationship with my daughter-in-law that's a little sketchy.
It works in any relationship, whether it is a parent-child, an in-law relationship, a husband-wife, a teacher-student. You know, in school, they teach you reading, writing, arithmetic, but not relationships. And this is what this does. This is a modern-day look at how to win friends and influence people.
So if someone says, I don't fit in, or I tend to lose jobs often because they don't understand me. You know, that's probably the most common phrase. My wife doesn't understand me. My boss doesn't understand me. My children don't understand me. Maybe it's, I don't understand them.
Exactly. Maybe you're just not speaking their language. Maybe it's always me, 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 instead of listening to somebody and understanding how you can see things from their perspective. This is empathy in action.
Right.
Putting yourself in the other person's shoes, seeing things from their eyes.
But you need to be trained to do that. So it's easy for us to stand here and say this is what you do. But he gives you these personality types. For example, some people they take initiative. They're productive. They like being in control. They like to win. They're motivated by that. And their weaknesses are that they're impatient. They're insensitive. They like to be a controller. They hate being hustled.
That's the director.
That's a director.
Bottom line, results, no nonsense.
Right. And for those of you who know our hosts, Bob Bowersox would be a director. He's definitely an initiative taker. He's an administrator. He's very decisive. He's in control. And that would be a personality type you could identify. Now, if you had to go and work with Bob and you had to get something achieved, if you went in and went with my personality, hey, Margarita, let's have a good time. We're going to get this job. Bob would throw me out of his office.
That's right.
So you have to say, what can I do to appeal to this kind of personality? And that's what it teaches you.
He wants you to cut to the chase.
Right.
Directors want you to cut to the chase, bottom line it, and they're not very good listeners. They can become good listeners, but they're not real good listeners because they can't wade through all the stuff that maybe a socializer or a thinker may may want to take them through. They just want, give me the bottom line, 1, 2, 3.
All right, we're going to go back to this. Let's go to the telephones. Hello, welcome to the show. How are you doing, Jan?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Oh, Jim, I'm sorry, I'm fine. Please say hello to Tony.
Hey, Tony, how are you?
Hi, Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing terrific.
Are you familiar at all with the concept of personality types?
Yes, I am. I've heard Tony speak on several occasions at conventions,
Oh,
and
wow.
he's absolutely electrifying. But the thing I like about this book is it gives you a way to take what Tony speaks about and to thumb through there and find the people you know and the people you live with and work with and have to deal with all the time, and just absolutely nail them. I mean, you can see what their pattern is and what your strategy ought to be for relating to them better and getting better results. I showed this one time after hearing Tony speak. I showed this model that he describes in here to my mom, and she said, "That's why your father's like he is." And she understood that it wasn't just him trying to irritate her, it was part of his personality being different from hers. So it's just a fabulous, fabulous concept, and the book is a real quick, easy read.
Well, thank you, Jim.
Good.
Thank you
bet.
very much. I appreciate that.
Very well said. Thank you.
I just ordered another one to give away.
It's a great gift. Thank you so much.
And
You
that's the
bet.
key. It really is a great gift. It
Yeah.
really is.
Jim, thanks a lot. Have a great evening. Enjoy it again and again. I think we lost him. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, now, we have the Socializer.
Right.
The Socializer, in case you were wondering what personality type I
Right
had.
here, right here.
They do a square, and they cut it into 4 corners, and they ask you to please identify yourself by moving into that quadrant. I was so far out in the cheerleader Socializer, I had to step outside.
That's right. They
Let's
sent you out.
talk, what is a social? What are the good news about? What's the good news about Socializer and the bad news?
Socializers are very outgoing. They love applause, recognition, visibility. They talk a lot about their favorite subject. Themselves, right?
Me!
And I say this, generally speaking, socializers are generally speaking. So your style, you are the classic socializer, just like my daughter, Jessica. She is a classic socializer, you are a classic socializer, but people are drawn to you.
What's the bad news about us?
Details tend to round it off. When the checking account statement comes in every month, you look at it and you throw it in a drawer. What do I need this for?
If there's checks in the book, there must be money in the bank.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Works for me. But you see, the thing is not so much just to know about you. It's to know about how you work with another personality type. And, you know, in dating, sometimes I analyze the person I'm going out with and I say, is this person too analytical for my type? Is this person are we going to be fighting about details? Because I have no mind for details, and this one basks in the glow of details.
Right.
We may end up killing each other. It's interesting.
There's a whole chapter in here where I talk about opposites attract versus birds of a feather flock together. Usually at work, the opposites attract because different patterns, my strengths will compensate for your weaknesses. But in a relationship, a personal relationship, birds of a feather flock together.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Then we have 2 others which we'll come back to. The relator, who's the real social worker, listener, soft, sweet type. You know, I feel your pain, I know where you're at. And then the last one is the, where'd I go here?
Thinker.
The thinker.
Yeah, the analytical, cautious.
Needs all this information. Judy is a lot like that, even though you may or may not know that. She likes to analyze, she likes to be accurate, she really likes to put her ducks in a row. So there are 4 types, but let's go to Esther on the phones. Hi,
Okay.
Esther, how you doing tonight?
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Tony.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, just fine.
Esther, why does this book appeal to you?
Well, I am a rather quiet person, and I just thought a lot of my friends, you know, talk, and they're very aggressive, and I can't understand where they're coming from, really. So I thought this might help me to understand them better, you know.
Absolutely. No question about it. Not only does it give you a better insight into yourself and how you come across to people and how other people might see you, but very importantly, it tells you how to deal effectively with others, with the outgoing people, with the shy people, with the bottom line people, with the very analytical people. The key to the book goes beyond understanding yourself. The key to the book is how do you use it with others, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whether it's your friends, your loved ones, your boss, your children. It works in every single relationship. I think everybody who's going to get married should go through this kind of training because it gives them a better perspective about how they get along with each other and what are some of the touch points that may cause some conflict.
Absolutely. You let us know how you like it, okay?
Oh, I think I'll really like it.
I think
And it's
Thank
so
you.
nice to talk to you, Kathy.
You too.
I
Thank
enjoy
you.
you very much.
Thank you, Esther. I
And
appreciate
thank you,
that.
Tony.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You have an adorable story about Michelangelo, and if Michelangelo were any of the 4 personality types, how he would have approached the painting of the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
I have 4 different scenarios. If Michelangelo were the analytical, if Michelangelo were the socializer,
Right.
if he were the director.
We'd do a condo line.
That's
We'd never
right.
get the place painted, but we'd have the best time.
Absolutely.
And then if it were Bob, you know, the director handling things, we'd have the paint, we'd have everything. You know, you do this section. It's so much fun when you recognize the personality type. And very quickly, you only have like 30 seconds, the story about the husband and wife who were having some terrible marital problems.
They were married 30 years. They were going to get a divorce. The husband came across my concept, brought it back home. Before they filed the papers for divorce, he and his wife sat down, talked about their personalities and how they deal with each other, decided to try some of the techniques out. And 6 months later, I saw them, and they told me the power this had and how it saved their marriage. And when they walked away from me, they had their arms around each other, patting each other like teenagers.
Oh, that's great. So this is for spouses, teachers, students, people who think they don't fit in, salespeople. Excellent for a college student because you're always at, I don't know where in heaven's name I'm going. This helps you. And if you were going for a job, if you are in transition, how many of you write me and say, you seem so happy, I love your job, I wish I could have a job like yours, I hate my job. If you hate your job, figure out what it is about you and what it is about what you need and what you need to say to get the other job. I promise you this will make a difference. It really is a great book. It's fun reading. It is not dry. If you hate to read, you will love this book. And if you ever get a chance to see Tony speak, don't miss him. He's the best. He is so electrifying. He's so much fun. And that's how he writes the Platinum Rule. Thank you very much.
Kathy. Thanks for having me.
Come back. We want to see you
I
again.
would love to.
All righty. This one is item number F15789. If you're on the line, stay on the line. Plenty to go around. $17.96.